Good evening. Lovely to be here, back in the hot seat between Paul and Ian, or Pian, as they're now being marketed. Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Alexander Armstrong. In the news this week, on a sunny day in London, from a distance of 7 miles away, a woman on a balcony is spotted removing her bikini top. Channel 4 caught controversy yet again with the launch of their new children's TV character, Gay Gary. And in Gloucestershire, the Conservative Party is forced to accept you don't always get the best candidate from an all-woman shortlist. On Ian Hislop's team is a comedian who said recently that even though he's rude and edgy, he just wants to be liked. But stop being rude and edgy, then. It's Jimmy Carr. Joining Paul Merton tonight is the Transport Union leader who proudly boasts that he uses public transport every day. Well, not if some idiot's called a strike he doesn't. Please welcome Bob Crow. And
it's a tough crowd, isn't it? Any commuters in from...
You realise if you're not nice, he won't let you go home.
We start with the bigger stories of the week. Ian and Jimmy, this is yours.
No one knows who that is. Oh, it's Europe.
It looks like a woman from The Simpsons without a chin.
There's a Dalek. Sorry, Gordon Brown, I had the two confused. There's Mandy. Oh,
look at his incredible powers. Is that the work experience foreign secretary? He's very good.
He's awfully good.
He's only 12.
So, two people you haven't heard of have been given a job you didn't know existed. This is the President of Europe, Herman von Rompuy. Oh, don't snigger. The other person who got the job of High Representative of the EU is, now this is really funny, Baroness Ashton.
I like her because I voted for her.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
No, you can't have done. She's never been voted for anything. Ever. So that's the EU in operation. Now, Bob, you're a Eurosceptic, aren't you?
No, I'm not a Eurosceptic at all, no. I just don't like the European Union, not European people. People like yourself I don't mind, but it's the, those people that... it's those people in the European Union Constitution. It basically enshrines privatisation. All the things that have gone wrong in this country, like water going up, electricity going up, transport being privatised, the European Union enshrines it. Not all down to the EU, but the EU enshrines it. So I've got more in common with a Chinese labourer than someone like yourself. But I'm not against... You know all about struggling for workers at Cambridge, no doubt. You'll be telling some tales later on.
No, it was Oxford, but again...
There you go.
It's that old detail on the train lines, isn't it? Circle line, district line, doesn't matter, they don't work anyway.
Yeah.
I think you've got quite a lot in common. If you squint, you look alike.
Yeah.
So you're against Mr Rompuy and Baroness Ashton?
I'm totally opposed to the European Union and the President for the European Union. And why are we just concentrating on Europe? Should we be concentrating on the world rather than just looking at a fortress around Europe?
I'm in danger of agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey,
I knew you would after a while.
Have you seen this show, Bob?
Anyway, dragging it back to comedy. What's Rumpy's nickname? Someone know?
Pumpy.
Well,
Pumpy.
Well, his wife, Carr, calls him Rambo. Suits him. Suits him. There we are.
Does he know that's his hand?
He writes haiku, Japanese poetry, which is what you need as President of Europe.
Well, he's probably got more in common with a Japanese poet than he does with you.
You're right again.
What has he said about his personal beliefs?
They're mental.
He said, all human beings must choose between the absurd and the mysterious, and I have chosen the mysterious. What would you choose, absurd or mysterious?
In a sense, they're the same thing, Alexander.
Oh, said the wizard.
Was Baroness Ashton Gordon's first choice to be EU High Representative?
No, she was the fourth choice.
Yeah.
Mandelson wanted it. Obviously can't give it to him. Miliband didn't want it.
Miliband first, Mandelson second, then Jeff Hoon. The Sunday Times reported Mr Hoon was met with little excitement. Story of a life, really, Jeff, isn't it? Now, listen, sorry, everyone, we just have to stop now, because Bob has negotiated a 10-minute tea break, so...
Just you, is it?
Yeah, you have it. A biscuit?
Well, I don't think one cup of tea's enough. I think all the workers should get one.
Yeah, all the workers can bring some if they want some.
Individualism again, see? 25 years ago, everyone would have got a cup of tea.
You're working.
Now he's on his own.
Thatcherite greed, that's all it is.
Were you born with a silver cup in your mouth?
So Blair didn't get the top job.
He was furious, he invaded. Oh, no, he can't do that anymore. So he didn't. He said there was no evidence he hadn't got the job.
The headline was, Blair, I didn't want Europe job anyway.
C4.
So what's Tony Blair going to be busying himself with in the next fortnight? Or more?
Christmas.
Bit of panto.
Do you think he'd be good in panto? Fill your boots.
Well, I feel your boots. Most MPs would as well, wouldn't they, really? So, I mean, they all fit in there.
Yeah.
No shortage of MPs playing panto this year.
Ali Barber and the 40 elected representatives.
Your career's behind you.
We found out something else this week. Who fancies David Miliband?
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
As well as David Miliband.
Yeah. She described him in an interview in Vogue as tall and dashing, adding, if you saw him, it would be a big crush. I mean, he's so vibrant, vital, attractive and smart.
It says tall and dashing. Do you think he was running away?
Let's have a look. Remind ourselves of this tall, dashing man. That's just an unfortunate photograph, I think. There are better ones. Meanwhile, which sportsman has been doing his bit to sour European relations recently?
Oh, Thierry Henry, is it?
It is, yes. What's he done?
Well, the Irish football team were desperately unlucky. And Thierry Henry handled the ball a couple of times and there was a big fuss about it.
They're calling it the hand of frog incident.
Are they?
Yeah. They being the sun.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, everywhere I go, everyone calls it the hand of frog all the time. Yeah. Did you see the match?
Yeah, the hand of frog thing.
Yeah.
But at least he apologised, and they should replay the match and let the winning team go to the World Cup properly. Otherwise, he'd be known as a cheat for the rest of his life, instead of an exceptional striker, which he is.
Sorry, Bob, when you say an exceptional striker, you do know what that means, don't you?
He's an exceptional striker, would fit into the RMT like that, yeah.
Yeah.
The Irish are taking it very badly. You know those Hoovers called Henry?
Yes.
Well, according to The Sun, a worker at an Irish government building in Dublin said several cleaners say they're unhappy working with vacuum cleaners with the cheat's name on them. The machines have nothing whatsoever to do with Thierry Henry. It's bizarre. This is the appointment of the new President of Europe, Herman Van Rompuy. For running Europe, President Rumpy will now get a salary of £320,000 a year. Oh, wow, for that kind of money, you could get an assistant head of compliance at the BBC. Amazing. Meanwhile, the post of EU Foreign Minister went to Baroness Ashton. Just in case you're one of the 65 million people in the country who've never heard of Baroness Ashton, the Mirror listed her qualities. She's not Tony Blair. I'm warming to her. She has a full-size Dalek in her living room. Yeah, I'm going off her again. Another European row blew up this week after Thierry Henry handled the ball at a key moment in France's World Cup qualifier, thereby robbing the Irish of the chance of being quietly knocked out in the first round. Paul and Bob. Here's yours.
Right, Big Ben, it's 11 o'clock. There's the clue. All right, this is Remembrance Day. This is the Prime Minister, and his name's Boris Johnson. Says he knows you. Margaret Thatcher. She went to see Gordon Brown. This is a painting of her. She thought a minute that she was the painting, and that she was looking at her opening it. They've shown her that and said, "There's your painting. Now go away." Yeah. Gordon Brown and David Cameron. David Cameron took a private photographer with him to take pictures of him overlooking the sort of, you know, the various sort of poppies around. And Gordon Brown did the same thing afterwards. And they apparently should have had permission to do that, and they didn't have permission to do that.
It was a PR stunt by both of them, and they had to apologise to the Dean of Westminster. Both of them were going along to... It was a service for the passing of the First World War generation. I only know that because I actually went. And I was standing outside and I saw Cameron. And I thought, that's very odd. That photographer's right up his nose taking pictures. Why is he allowing that? And then I stupidly forgot that Cameron used to be a PR man. So he was actually there saying, "This is me grieving." How sad do I look now? Then we go in the service, and you find out afterwards, everybody else, you know, they're playing the last post and everyone's welling up. Brown's people are going, "They've had a photo op. Get us a photo op." So as soon as Brown walks out, it's Brown walking through the poppies. "Am I grieving now? How sad do I look now?" I mean, it was utterly sickening. Anyway, that's just a personal view.
Listen, Jimmy, if you want to dive in with an inappropriate gag at any time, don't hold back on my part.
I have to say, the phone thing, there was a very good moment. This is just a brief diversion. I was sitting behind a pillar, sort of way at the back, and just as the Archbishop started his sermon, a phone went off. And it was in the tourist kiosk. It was the phone that leads to one of the credit card machines. So the Archbishop's about to start proof. This phone goes off. He rang 3 times, and we're all sitting there, very civilian-like, going, "This is so embarrassing," the phone's going off. And an old bloke behind me with a jacket and a group of medals went over the back, went round and went... End of phone noise.
What recent event did Gordon Brown not allow to be photographed?
Maggie going to number 10. They don't want a picture of Gordon Brown next to Margaret Thatcher and people going, "Now there's an unpopular Prime Minister." That one.
But he had commissioned the portrait.
He was wandering around his own house and he went, "I'll tell you what this place needs."
BBC are doing a programme about Margaret Thatcher.
What's it called?
The Family, innit?
Why is it called The Family?
I don't know either. Probably like The Godfather, probably, you know. Old Dennis comes around, you know, like, you know, Don Coolio Dennis, you know.
Bob Crew accuses someone else of being thuggish. Millwall fan.
Well, come down here.
No, I can't think of anything.
They'll take you like a duck to water.
Better.
Would you see Ian down at Millwall? Do you think
Certainly.
Possibly as the mascot.
Why did the government of Canada think Lady Thatcher was dead?
From the look of her?
At a formal dinner in Toronto, one member of the Canadian cabinet received a text from the Transport Minister saying Thatcher had died. Thatcher, it turned out, was his pet cat. This caused a great deal of embarrassment to the Canadian government. What did one government aide say when he heard the truth?
Did he say, "Oh dear"?
He said, "If the cat wasn't dead, I'd have killed it by now." People in Canada were not shocked to hear that Lady Thatcher was dead, although they were a little taken aback to hear that she was going to be buried in a shoebox next to Mr. Sniffles. On the subject of opinionated women, who's David Cameron being tried to curry favour with recently?
Mum's chat line.
Mumsnet, that's right.
Mumsnet,
yes,
is that what it's called?
Very influential online community of mothers whom you upset at your peril. You kind of wonder who's looking after their children if they're busy just being cross on computers.
the favourite biscuit people? Aren't they the ones that are obsessed by biscuits?
Yeah, but if you bring that up, they get furious. They say, we are not a network full of stupid young mothers who are only thinking about biscuits. They ask proper political questions.
So what question did they ask him?
They asked, so what will you do for hard-working mums, family allowance?
That is the worst mime for ironing I've ever seen.
What's the X Factor got to do with all of this?
Nothing.
We all love the X Factor, don't we? Bob?
So it's OK. I can't believe how some of the people vote for some of the people that go on there.
It's
But nevertheless...
Well, that's the pot calling
it's a
the
shame.
kettle
It's a shame. Well,
Also this week, who made his maiden speech in the House of Lords?
Alan Sugar.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to show you footage of that. Some people have to make do with this.
How does this region get out of recession?
Oh, shit. Like a grumpy teddy bear, isn't he? Well, he's a self-made man. Obviously made by Amstrad, so a bit shit.
This is another week in Westminster, a week in which Labour's chances of winning the next election rocketed up to negligible. Lib Dem leader Nick Clegg said it will be the duty of the party that comes third to help form a government. Heavy responsibility, that, for the National Rainbow Alliance. Gordon Brown and David Cameron were both forced to apologise for turning Remembrance Day into a photo opportunity. The cameras clicked as Brown and Cameron stood, heads bowed, in the field of remembrance, while behind them a desperate Nick Clegg bungee jumped dressed as a giant poppy. And was ignored by everyone. And so to round two. It's Alexander's Tube of News. This is in honour of you, Bob. Well, kind of in honour, in that the tube does actually arrive. Who's this and why are they driving my Tube of News? Buzz when you know what it is.
It's the Tube of News. Well, I think we were just stopping it before it hit us.
This is the lobster story.
It is.
Oh, well, I could have told you that. I mean, if that's the level we're playing now, I could have had a punt.
They've worked out a way to kill lobsters humanely.
Quite right.
Instead of boiling them alive, in which they sing and whistle and scream,
It's a hammer.
it's a stun gun called the
Essentially.
Crustacea kill.
It's worse than that.
Lobster death.
It's called...
you've got an expert in you. The amount of lobsters you must eat.
I eat more or less nothing else, Bob. But I do stop occasionally to quaff champagne before picking up my canes, leaving my club, and thinking, shall I go down the tube? Bit dirty.
Yeah. That's the life we like to aspire to, the sort of life that
I
you
know.
have. Yeah.
Bob, no one's having a go, but you're giving diet tips. Come on.
Yeah.
Big glass houses.
But you're right about the humane lobster death machine.
Right. What's it called?
They went for Crustacea.
That's quite good.
It comprises a stainless steel box roughly the size of a microwave, containing a tray with a wet sponge and an electrode.
That's a sort of like a market than what they do in America when they kill people, I suppose, the electric chair bit.
Yeah, only lobster size.
Yeah, lobster size.
It'd be good if you were on death row and you had that as your final meal, because you could sort of empathise with it.
Only if you had champagne.
Fingers on Buzz's teams. Next train approaching.
Well, here's someone who made the trains run on time, Bob.
Mussolini.
It's Mussolini.
Have they all got Oyster cards? How have they...
That's a story about Mussolini. Apparently he was a sex maniac, and which is people knew, but they didn't realise quite how much of a sex maniac he was. And so these diaries have been reprinted, I think partly just to make the new Italian Premier, Berlusconi, feel inadequate.
Sarah Palin's going, oh, look at the size of that.
So she slept with Mussolini?
No, they're unrelated. Sarah Palin has a memoir out this week, as to a prostitute who claims to have slept with Silvio Berlusconi and Benito Mussolini's mistress. Shall we have a quick Sarah Palin mini-quizette? OK.
Yeah.
She says in the book, everything I ever needed to know, I learnt where? Yeah, Ian.
In Hull.
No, not on this occasion.
Is it in Alaska?
Church.
On the basketball court. Next question in the mini-quiz.
OK, yeah.
What did teenage Sarah Palin's father ask her to hold while he was field dressing a moose?
Her father was a teenager.
What did he ask her to hold?
A basketball.
Was there 21st birthday party celebrations for the people next door?
No, it's eyeballs. It's eyeballs. OK, third
Eyeballs.
question
Moose's eyeballs.
in the mini-quiz. What is the name of Sarah Palin's eldest son?
Basketball.
Is it Michael?
No. No, it's... you'll like this, Bob. Track.
Oh, they are.
See?
Yeah.
Nice little railway theme there.
Is he the son who went off the rails?
Hey? He's still got it.
In the book, she says, if God had not intended for us to eat animals, how come... what?
They taste so good.
He made them out of meat. Can't argue that. Sarah Palin has been out promoting her book. Let's have a look at some of the interviews that were conducted with people in the signing queue in Columbus, Ohio.
And do you hope she runs for president?
I'd love it.
What are some particular issues of Sarah's that you would like to see her bring to office?
Oh, gee. Help me out here, guys.
Any policies, I guess, specifically that you of hers?
I can't think of the policies right off the bat.
To be honest with you, I don't know anything about her foreign policy.
And you're right, you don't have to compromise.
Yeah.
Compromise is for people that are wrong.
The state that she did go was right across the street from Russia.
Right. You could
So
cross the street and you'd be in another country.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that she's ever had to deal with Russia, but I'm sure she's had, boundary issues that she had to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, we got boundary issues in Mexico right now.
That man is his own father. And here's another good point well made.
You want to give away your own money, that's fine, but don't tell me to give away my money. That's socialism.
Many Alaskans were looking forward to Sarah Palin's book hitting their stores, some to read it, others to find out what a book looks like. Another diary out this week reveals the secrets of Silvio Berlusconi's love life. In her book, Patrizio Daddario claims that she spent the night with promiscuous Lothario Berlusconi and says after breakfast the next morning the Prime Minister gave me a special gift. Although the special cream from the special clinic soon cleared it up. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Here comes your next clue.
That's Harriet Harman. She is in trouble. She drove her car into the back of a parked vehicle, I think, while she was on the phone. And she's now actually got a job as a tube driver, as you can see there.
That's right, yes. What made it a particularly special achievement?
The car she drove into was parked.
She left...
The car she was in was parked. She didn't have the key on her. The engine wasn't going, but she still managed to hit another car with it.
Drove into a parked car and then allegedly drove off without leaving her details.
Ah.
Well, she said all she had to say was, I'm Harriet Harman. You know where you can get hold of me.
That's what I say if I ever crash the car. If I'm Harriet Harman, you can get hold of me.
We should just point out, of course, that Harriet Harman strenuously denies these allegations.
I don't think she does.
Strenuously, she does.
No, she doesn't give a toss.
But, Jimmy, that was a silly thing to do, wasn't it? Got any tips for anyone who might maybe get caught?
I've got the number of a very good lawyer.
Yeah? You were cleared of using a mobile phone while driving because you were actually using it to record a joke.
I wasn't using a mobile phone. I was using a dictaphone.
To record a joke?
Yeah, apparently.
What, were you listening to the news quiz? Who's your lawyer? What's his name?
He's a guy called Nick.
He works for Gaddafi.
He would do if the money was right.
Anyway, you got off.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. Turns out that's not against the law.
So, Bob, how would you advise Harriet to avoid car crashes in future?
Well, I mean, I would say to use the tube,
Use
really.
the tube. Well done. Her husband's Jack Dromey, who's another union man. Do you know him?
I know Jack well, yeah.
Yeah. Are they friends?
His father was a train driver as well.
Are they friends?
Who?
Harriet and Jack?
Well, I hope to be. They've been living together about 20 years.
With you? I mean, do you get on?
I don't live with them, no.
Talking of ineffectual suspected criminals, can anyone tell me what's going on here?
I can explain this. And I'm very sorry.
This is a man in Portugal who tried to climb into a tiny supermarket window and he became stuck and tried to wriggle free. His trousers fell off and he was stuck there for 11 hours. And just when he thought the day couldn't get any worse, a holidaying Michael Barrymore strolled by. Have a listen to this recent 911 call from America.
Clark County 911.
Somebody's really drunk driving down Granton Road.
Okay, are you behind them, or...?
No, I am them. Yes, I am them.
Okay, so you want to call and report that you're driving drunk?
Yes.
My lawyer's good, but he hasn't got hope with that. She's on her own.
Finally, in this exciting crime roundup, who's this?
Oh, this is officially the worst ever photo-fit picture issued, and extraordinarily, they arrested 2 people on the basis of this photo-fit.
That's absolutely right, yeah. Listen, Jimmy, never go to Bolivia. Time now for the odd one out round. Ian and Jimmy, your 4 are Colonel Gaddafi, Dr. Darman Spears, the Pope, and the cast of Turkish reality show Tovbekala Yarisiyor.
Gaddafi has been in Italy. He asked if he could have 200 beautiful women just to turn up. And obviously Berlusconi said no probs.
Imagine if that had been Gordon Brown. I need 200 beautiful women. Got Harriet Harman. Berlusconi had him on speed dial. You need 200, right? You 200 have to go.
It was actually 500, actually. Yeah. So
was it 500?
Yeah, it was 500. 500.
He decided he would try and convert a number of these ladies of the evening. And he lectured them for a couple of hours on the Quran. The Pope, he's been trying to woo the Church of England. Yes. Come over to the dark side.
Yes.
Well, that TV show looks as if they're trying to convert people to different religions, and that's the game.
See,
oh, you're right.
That looks like what's happening. So he's the odd one out because he's not trying to convert anyone?
Yeah, I think you can have that. They've all tried to convert someone to their religion. Very good. Apart from Dr. Darman Spears, who tried to make his son speak Klingon. He did this by only speaking in Klingon to the child for the first 3 years of his life in the hope that he would learn the language. There is actually a Klingon dictionary, which includes thousands of entries, though I imagine there is no word for girlfriend.
If he'd done it in Jedi, that is a religion, isn't it? So it would have been a different odd one out.
True.
So technically, you can put that down on the census form now. C of E, Catholic, Muslim, Hindu, Jedi.
Well, they're all made up.
And you're absolutely right. During a visit to Italy last week, Colonel Gaddafi requested 500 leggy blonde lovelies from an escort agency and attempted to convert them to Islam. He paid them all €50 to attend a party. During his 2-hour lecture on religion, Gaddafi said he had it on good authority that Jesus was not crucified, but that they crucified someone who looked like him. Colonel, with respect, I think you've been watching The Life of Brian. And you're quite right, the Pope has been trying to convert entire parishes of disaffected Anglicans to Catholicism lately. The Archbishop of Canterbury went to see the Pope about this, but he complained about the lack of consultation and said it put him in an awkward position, not helped by the fact they both turned up in the same dress. The Turkish TV show Tovbekala Yarisiyor, which translates as Penitents Compete, features various spiritual leaders trying to convert atheists to their respective religions. According to one report, the Muslim religious authorities in Turkey are not amused. Ever. Hopefully there'll be a British version soon where we can watch Cheryl Cole crying when one of her atheists gets knocked out. Paul and Bob, here are yours, and they are Michael Fish, Judy Garland, Michael Flatley and Bob Crow.
Well, Michael Fish is remembered mainly for the hurricanes of 1987, which he said weren't going to happen. Judy Garland, Wizard of Oz, Over the Rainbow, she gets sucked up in a sort of tornado, doesn't she? So there's a sort of hurricane thing there.
I keep a close eye on the weather.
Yeah.
I'll do honestly. I'm not those anoraks who goes around and see what the weather is, but it always amazes me how people can determine the weather in advance.
But the people with anoraks know it's going to rain, don't they?
Well, they're the anoraks.
2 of them, we could say, have had problems through severe weather conditions.
One of them's quite interested in the weather.
Can I suggest that maybe... Did the wind change just before you made that face?
3 of those there are big fans of Judy's music. Songs from the shows, musicals, love it. Except Judy.
No.
Did you just suggest that Bob Crow was a friend of Dorothy's? That's the bravest thing I've ever seen.
He's got a sensitive side. People think he's just a, you know, Millwall bloke who likes confrontation. I'm suggesting he's got a secret other side.
And you could unlock that.
Given a very large key.
That's made it worse.
I'm going to give you a clue, and I'm just going to say the word lotus flower.
Oh, do they all do yoga?
I don't.
You're the odd one out, then.
We're definitely in the right direction.
They can't possibly be yoga positions.
Yes, they are all yoga positions, apart from who? Who's the odd one out?
It's Flatley.
It's Flatley.
There's no Flatley. Obviously, there's a crow position, which is
A garland.
non-negotiable.
The crow position, which is, of course, Bob, you'll know this, the 10th in a sequence of 12 basic postures of Hatha yoga. It requires courage and hip flexibility to bring the thighs alongside the chest. There is a demonstration here.
The thighs where? And then Michael Barrymore walked by.
Yes, they all share their names with yoga poses, except Michael Flatley, although there is a Lord of the Dance pose. Judy Garland was notoriously neurotic, dependent on alcohol and prescription drugs, and divorced 4 times. Still, at least the kids turned out OK. Judy Garland, of course, starred in The Wizard of Oz, where Dorothy's house was carried off by a tornado, even though hours earlier Michael Fish had assured the people of Kansas they had absolutely nothing to worry about. And who can forget Follow the Yellow Brick Road, which we all have to do when some bastard has called yet another tube strike. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Train Crew and Shunters News.
Yes!
Sometimes it's 4 pages, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it doesn't turn up at all, with no explanation. We start with RMT will not accept what?
Oyster cards. Anything but the exact change.
Will not accept abbreviations of its name.
The answer is RMT will not accept javelins as Trojan horse for do.
That's actually less clear than when it was blank.
What's that mean?
The javelin trains, the new trains that you know from St Pancras.
Right.
They want them to run with no guards for part of the way. We don't think it's safe.
Right. These are... the do is...
No, driver-only operation.
I'm more baffled than I was when I was very, very little. According to Train Crew and Shunters News, the company has avoided sitting down with the union. Well, there are never enough seats, are there? Talking of trains, would anybody like to see Boris Johnson dealing with a tricky transport issue this week?
People might be surprised to learn that they're not going to be able to use their oyster on the Olympic javelin.
Well, I think it's a fantastic advance, and is it true they can't use their oyster on the Olympic javelin? Well, the oyster, folks. Come on, we need a better answer than this. What's the answer? Come on, the question doesn't arise because people won't be using their oyster cards to go to Stratford because the train won't stop at Stratford except for during the Olympics. That's the answer.
Next, I'm wearing this hat, so what?
People know I'm the Pope.
Along the right lines, except not about the Pope.
So people will know I'm the Queen.
This is going to take a long time, but yes. I'm wearing this hat so the gypsies think I am one. This is Jeremy Clarkson, who caused offence when he wore this hat to fit in whilst in Romania. Clarkson was accused of insulting the Romanians, although, to be fair, the locals did think James May was his wife and they were trying to steal Richard Hammond. Next, Bob Crow, what is a crazy idea?
Is there no missing word? It was a crazy idea.
That colon suggests that it's something you said.
Is it Bob Crow's colon is a crazy idea?
The answer is, of course, giving London Underground Railway Operations Limited a free hand to remove guards from busy commuter trains in time for the Olympics.
It's not the craziest idea I've ever heard.
Lunacy.
Good. Boris wants the trains now to go to Stratford in the Olympics with a guard on we want, and everyone will be happy.
You've got that threatening face on again.
That's a nice face.
It is a nice face. It is a nice face.
I was born with it, believe it or not.
Were you?
Yeah.
You do look like a big baby.
Next, Tom Jones gave me what? Wish I'd what?
Tom Jones gave me his hat. I wish I gave me my knickers.
Well, that is a revelation.
Tom Jones gave me an apple, wish I'd asked for an orchard.
Tom Jones gave me a Strepsil, wish I'd kept it. The Strepsils website proudly boasts that they come in a range of flavours, honey and lemon, and orange. It's got a range of flavours, that's 2 flavours. You don't call Jedward a range of annoying tossers, do you? Next, never use a mobile phone while what?
Oh, use a dictaphone, you never get nicked.
Is it whilst having sex?
No.
Can't talk now, going into a tunnel. I can just feel the disappointment on Ian's face. I can't bear to look. I'm sorry, Ian. I've let you down.
The answer is never use a mobile phone while you're peeing. This tip is from 150 Things Every Man Should Know by Gareth May. Here's one of them. Don't buy 150 Things Every Man Should Know by Gareth May. Next, Jesus what at Glastonbury?
Supporting you too.
He learnt from the Druids.
Taught by monks, that's according to the headline. Yeah, that's absolutely right. A new film claims that, as a young man, Jesus may have visited Britain and built a chapel at Glastonbury. The Star said Jesus may have come to Britain. The Sun went with Jesus may have come to Britain. While the Mail went with Glastonbury Chapel, built by Middle Eastern benefit cheat. And so the final scores are... Paul and Bob have 4, Ian and Jimmy have 7. But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition. Ian and Jimmy have this.
He's a photographer for Global Heat magazine.
Global Heat magazine?
Too much.
Are they doing that because obviously the ice caps are melting, so they'll have to get passports to go elsewhere? So they're just going, I'll tell you what, we'll just do one of you and pass it round.
Paul and Bob get that.
Was that Peter Andre waiting for Katie Price to come back to me?
Is it someone saying, it said next train 3 minutes?
That's just the skeleton service you're running that day?
Yeah.
On which note we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Jimmy Carr, Paul Merton and Bob Crow. And I leave you with news that on the catwalk at London Fashion Week, there are worrying signs that Naomi Campbell may have been taking the wrong kind of hormone treatment. In Rome, Silvio Berlusconi decides it's time to appoint a new finance minister. And at the World Gymnastics Championships, after a quick snack, one judge hopes no one saw her casually discard her banana skin. Good night.
While the PM's away, the media decide it's the perfect time to stir up a leadership contest. You can imagine how that goes down with King of Spin Malcolm Tucker. Political comedy The Thick of It, next on BBC Two.
Come on, smile. Why, can you wave, please, for Twitter? Thank you very much.
Yeah, on my view, that all this Twitter lark is people just start speaking to each other. I like to stand up in mess rooms and asking people to go on strike rather than just sending the emails out there.
Sorry, can you repeat that and I'll record it?